y'all? It's Angel, and today I'm filming how I got into NYU with my stats, some tips about my essay, and then overall tips about the college application process after I posted this Instagram picture, and a bunch of NYU Instagrams posted me as well. I received a lot of DMs, upcoming seniors, people who want to get into NYU, asking what I did, if I can help them out, say what I got, my stats, things like that. And I decided to just do an overall video to help you guys out. So I'm just going to be talking about what I did, my stats, things about me, and some overall tips on what I think anyone who wants to get into NYU or a really good college should do. So let's just get started. Okay, we're going to get right into what I applied. So the major I applied to was politics in the School of the College of Arts and Sciences, so CAS. And I applied early decision. And this would be the first big tip that I would give you guys, is to apply to one school, early decision. And early decision, if you don't know, it's kind of like you apply to this school, and if they accept you, it's binding. You're going to that school. You retract all of your other applications, the acceptances, and you're like, okay, this is my school. And the thing about that is, honestly, when you apply early decision, it shows the people who are reading applications and the whole admissions team that you really want to be a part of the school. So there's data supporting that most schools, when you apply early decision, you just have a higher chance of getting into that school. So I definitely recommend, if you have one dream school, like NYU is my dream school, apply early decision. So I applied early decision 2, which is the second wave. NYU is really nice in the sense that they have two waves of early decisions. So they have the first one in November, and that's when most early decisions end, and they have the second one in January, and that one is the same due date as regular decision. And I was going to apply regular, but I was like, you know what, this is my school. And a big thing is, even though it's binding, if the school does not give you enough financial aid, you are legally allowed to not go to that school, because they can't force you to go to a school that you can't afford. But we're going to go straight into my stats, because I know that's the most important thing in this video. Okay, so for my stats, my GPA, I had a 3.8 unweighted. My school had a 4.0 scale. And then my weighted GPA was a 4.2. And my SAT score, super score, because I only took it twice, 1290. And then first time I took it 1180, second time I took it 1240. When I combined my highest reading and my highest math, that gave me 1290. And the average for NYU, I think, was a 14 something. So I was definitely below the average. And that's something I tried to tell the few people that I did message back in the DMs, that the thing that I think I did really well with my entire application process was my essays, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Okay. So I'm also an IB diploma candidate student. Also looks really good on college apps, to be honest. So I'm an IB kid. My class ranking, I was in the top 15% of my class. And then for my extracurriculars, to me, I didn't do anything special with my extracurriculars. I was in National Honor Society. I was in Black Student Union. I was in my French Honor Society, and I think that's all I put as my extracurriculars. I'm a competitive dancer, and I was a competitive dancer for about 10 years. So that's something that shows longevity, which looks really good, because you'd rather have one or two things that you're really good at, top tier, than 5 things, 10 things, but you're nothing special. It's okay, but why do we want you at your school if you're not going to actually contribute anything important? You know what I mean? Recently, I've become a teacher, so I teach classes at my studio, camp counselor, so that's something that shows a lot of leadership, and how I'm very responsible. I said I was the captain of my dance team, if you know. So that was it for my extracurriculars. So for me, I was not extremely involved in my school, but it was because dance took so much of my time. And then recommendation letters are also very important, and so I got recommendation letters from teachers who I believed, first of all, knew me very well. I did very well in their class, so it would like match up. So I got recommendation letters from my history teacher and my psychology teacher. So when I took psychology my junior year, I took IB psychology, and I also submitted my IB psych exam score, and I got a 4, which is passing. And then I also got a recommendation letter from my history teacher, and both of those courses I did get an A for my final grade. So I did well in the class first off, and then they're going to say good things about me because I had good connections with those teachers, and they also kind of relate to my major. And then I was also able to get a recommendation letter from my principal. So that's like a cool like flex, I think, because my principal personally knew me, and she knew the type of student I was, the type of person I was, and I also think that's a really good kind of like thing that was on my application. But like I said in the beginning, the most important thing, or the best thing that I think I did when applying to schools, was I had really good essays. So NYU has 2 essays, the Common App essay and then the Why NYU essay. For my Common App essay, that was the essay I sent to all the schools. And so I basically wrote about the tragedy that was Eric Gardner, what happened, and the way his video of him saying "I can't breathe" went viral on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all these social media sites, and how that continued the spark of the Black Lives Matter movement. And I basically connected that to the power of social media in the way that social media is so strong that we can basically send out messages and create a movement to change society, to impact the way we see politics and the way we see government. And I connected it back to my major. And I had my sister read it, who's a college graduate. I had my English teacher read it, so I had a lot of people proofread it and, you know, talk to me about it. So that was my Common App essay and my general essay for all my schools. And then when it came to the Why NYU essay, the Why NYU essay is basically explaining why NYU, why is it the school that you really want to go to. And there's videos online actually from NYU themselves explaining, you know, why NYU essays that they really liked over the past few years and essays that they've hated. And I watched that video and I completely rewrote the essay that I had already had. And the biggest thing that I made sure to emphasize in my Why NYU essay is what I could bring to NYU, in the sense that I'm an IB student, and being an IB, it's a completely different program. They emphasize on thinking intellectually, being inquirers, asking questions, and I feel like that's really important to bring into a college setting. I talked about how I'm Liberian American, first generation, and that's specific to me. And, you know, I'm just gonna say this as the biggest tip: if your parents immigrant, you're an immigrant, milk that like so much. Like that's like a college admissions team like dream. It's like the best thing. Do your research. I definitely researched the core values of NYU, things relating to my major, professors, things like that. So when I was writing my essay, it actually sounded like I knew what I was talking about. So that's really it when it comes to my stats and my essays. Something that I realized when, you know, discussing with other high school seniors and people in college, watching different videos, the college application process is not necessarily like random, but sometimes it kind of just doesn't add up, doesn't make sense, especially when it comes to kind of like money and scholarships. I was lucky enough to receive the CAS scholarship, which is able to provide me enough money to attend NYU, because we all know that school is up there when it comes to the price. And overall, when it comes to applying to college, I just think it's important to remember that whenever you're applying to a school and applying to a certain major, to kind of research the popularity of that major. If you apply to a school that's relatively difficult to get into, and then you also apply to a school, and you also apply to a major that is also relatively difficult to get into, your chances just diminish even more. So I think NYU politics is not the most popular major, and CAS is not the hardest school to get into. I think the hardest school to get into is Stern, and then Tisch is also difficult to get into, but it's like a different process. So CAS is not the most difficult school to get into, so like my chances of getting into the school in general is a little bit better compared to someone applying to Stern with the exact same stats as I do. But you also have to stand out and find something that makes you unique and individual. So if you're a junior, definitely work on that in the summer. And honestly, positive attitudes manifestation. I always believe in that as well, to keep that positive mindset going as you head into this college application process. And I think everybody's going to do great, and if you don't get into that school, it's literally not the end of the world. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope I gave really good tips that were helpful, and I answered the questions that were asked. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys later. Bye.